Hello guys, welcome back to Ansakari. This is our lecture series number 14 and in our previous lecture we have learned about status and role, and with status and role social control is the more important part. So how we can apply social control? It is with the help of sanctions or deviance behavior. And why social control? Because for the stability of the society. So in our today's discussion we will deal with social institutions. First we will define what is social institutions, then we will discuss like examples like social institutions like family, marriage, kinship, work, and so on. So let's start with the definition of social institutions. It is the set of social norms, beliefs, values, and role relationship that arise in response to the needs of society. यानी कि किस social institution की क्या? Because it is the for the needs of the society की जरूरतों के लिए. For example, family भी सोसाइटी में जो पीपल रहते हैं उनके लिए, किनशिप रिलेशंस, मैरिज रिलेशंस, स्कूल्स एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन, या फिर गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, ये किस चीज के लिए? फॉर द नीड्स ऑफ द सोसाइटी. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर स्टडीइंग सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. These institutions constrain and control, punish and reward. These exist to satisfy social needs. Why these exist? To satisfy social needs. And social needs mean for the welfare of the society. Social institutions can be micro, like family, marriage, kinship. Okay, and what is micro? Like state. Macro means for huge level, and micro means at the small level. So there are formal as well as informal institutions. Formal which have some norms, rules, regulations होते हैं, लेकिन for informal that do not have rules and regulations, but these are also institutions. Then we will discuss family, marriage, and kinship. First, we will define it. What is family? The family is an intimate domestic group of people. Family is an intimate domestic group of people related to each other by kin connections. Then next, blood and legal ties and sexual relations, in which adults are responsible for the care and raising of their children. And adults are responsible for the care and raising of their children. What this huge process defines? It is the process of socialization. We have discussed it in the previous lectures. You can visit and check there. Then sociologists usually distinguish between the nuclear and the extended type of families. अब families कौन से? या तो nuclear या फिर joint family या फिर extended type family. अब with the modern societies, we have seen that nuclear family are rising and the extended type of families are declining. You can here add some more stats related to the nuclear and the extended type family for further value additions. According to the functionalist perspective, अब functionalist कौन होंगे? जो थ्रू फंक्शंस दे आर परफॉर्मिंग उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो भी एक पर्सपेक्टिव बना ले, तो उनके हिसाब से फैमिली क्या होनी चाहिए? According to the functionalist perspective, family performs important tasks which contribute to the society needs and helps perpetuate social order. So as a whole, we can say that family and kinship are subject to change and transformation due to macroeconomic processes. अब मैक्रो क्या हो गया? एट द ह्यूज लेवल. तो जैसे कि अर्बनाइजेशन हो रहा है, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हो रहा है, ये सारे चेंजेस की वजह से क्या हो रहा है? ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो रहा है फैमिली एंड किनशिप टाइज के अंदर. और लेकिन क्या ये स्टैटिक है? जी नहीं. इसमें क्या है? कॉन्टिन्यूटी एंड चेंज को एग्जिस्ट टुगेदर. सो we can as a term use as we are studying sociology, so terms are very important because that can boost your score, because general writing everybody can write, but with specific words and keywords only some can write. The family of birth is called family of orientation. So the family of birth जब हम बोलेंगे तो उसके लिए फैमिली ऑफ बर्थ, जब हम सोशलियोलॉजी में ना लिख के हम क्या लिखेंगे, फैमिली ऑफ ओरिएंटेशन। इसको हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं, अभिविन्यास का सामाजिक। एंड द फैमिली इन विच अ पर्सन इज मैरिड, इट इज कॉल्ड फैमिली ऑफ प्रोक्रिएशन, यानी प्रजनन की सामाजिकता। These two words are very important. Let's discuss marriage. What is the definition of marriage? It is defined as socially acknowledged and approved sexual union between two adults individual. I hope you clear with this definition. There are two types of marriage, arranged and love marriages. In traditional way, only arranged marriages are possible, but with the modern societies, love marriages, live-in relationship concept, or we can say intercaste marriages, interfaith marriages, all are ongoing. So let's take some definitions of marriages, like types of marriages, like monogamy. It restricts the individual to one spouse at a time. Monogamy means क्या है कि आप सिर्फ एक ही इंसान से मैरिज कर सकते हो, लेकिन उसी में नेक्स्ट डेफिनेशन आ जाती है सीरियल मोनोगैमी। सो यही टर्म्स आपको कंफ्यूज कर देंगे, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सीरियल मोनोगैमी, यानी कि रीमैरिज ऑन द डेथ ऑफ फर्स्ट स्पाउस और आफ्टर डिवोर्स। यानी कि जब भी आप होती तो सिंगल मैरिज ही है, लेकिन क्या हो रहा है, या तो डेथ हो जाएगी स्पाउस की, या फिर क्या होगा, डाइवोर्स हो जाएगा। नेक्स्ट इज पोलीगैमी, मैरिज टू मोर देन वन मीट एट वन टाइम एंड टेक्स द फॉर्म ऑफ आइदर, यानी कि एक से ज्यादा मेट जब होगा उसको क्या बोलेंगे, पोलीगैमी। अब इसमें भी जब हस्बैंड करता है उसके लिए अलग है वर्ड, अब जब वाइफ करती है एक से ज्यादा तो उसके लिए अलग वर्ड है। तो हेयर polyandry, वन वाइफ विद टू और मोर हस्बैंड्स, और polygyny क्या है, वन हस्बैंड विद टू और मोर वाइफ्स। नेक्स्ट इज endogamy, an individual to marry within a culturally defined group of which he or she is already a member. एंडोगैमी क्या होगा कि सिर्फ अपने ही ग्रुप में, यानी बाउंड्री डिफाइंड है अपने उसी कल्चर के अंदर, आप जब करोगे उसको क्या बोलेंगे, एंडोगैमी। फॉर एग्जाम्पल ए ट्राइब्स नॉर्थ ईस्ट साइड, ये ज्यादा होता है कि वो अपने ही एरिया के अंदर अपनी ही कल्चरल डिफाइंड ग्रुप के अंदर मैरिजेस कर लेते हैं। और नेक्स्ट इज एक्सोगैमी, इट रिक्वायर्स द इंडिविजुअल टू मैरी आउटसाइड हिज और हर ओन group. So this is all definitions we will discuss on the topic family, kinship and marriage. Now we will discuss an important article on this topic, that is how neoliberalism became the backdrop for agrarian distress and exploitative marriages networks. First we must know what is neoliberalism. It means free of, यानी कि free of from government interventions, and free market की बात कर रहे हैं ये, यानी कि पॉलिटिकल और इकोनॉमिक दोनों चीजों का जब एक साथ समागम हो जाए, उस तरीके से उस कंटेक्स्ट में बोलना चाह रहे हैं, अप्रोच ये फॉलो करते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट का इंटरवेंशन कब कर दो और फ्री मार्केट हो जाए, जो कि कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी में होता है। लेट्स रीड विद दिस आर्टिकल, रीडिंग रीना कुकरेजा book. One is reminded of reading Karl Marx in a different setting. So in our coming future lectures, we will discuss about ideas of Karl Marx. He talks about capitalist society. Okay, then the book forms the link between the vast body of work on the working of caste, kinship, and marriage. And because this article is reflecting on family, kinship, and marriage and caste that we discussed previously lectures in previous lecture, and also one more article on the caste by Ambedkar. We have discussed it separately. I will tell you about that. I want that you will visit that there and review that lecture, so that for keywords and understanding networks in India and the specific context of liberalization and its impact on rural North India. Okay, then Kukreja writes, in India, the accumulative process got a fillip from the early 1990s, and when it wholeheartedly embarrassed the neoliberal project through the adoption of structural adjustment programs. Here the keyword is structural adjustment programs. This resulted in the alienation of producers from means of production and the creation of the word alienation has discussed by Karl Marx in very brief. In the future lecture, I will discuss with you on that topic as well. And the creation of a reserve army of dispossessed and landless people who could provide cheap, flexible, and disposable labor for the accumulative process. The distinctiveness of this phase, she further writes, lies in the destruction of social relations through commoditization. It commoditizes everything, not even sparing daily life. Let's move forward. The long shadows of the alienation of producers from their products and of commodity fetishism are clearly discernible. Kukreja studies a form of non-customary marriages among both Hindus and Muslims in rural North India. इन्होंने क्या किया, नॉन कस्टमरी मैरिजेस को स्टडी किया बिटवीन अमंग हिंदूज एंड मुस्लिम्स इन रूरल नॉर्थ इंडिया, especially in parts of Haryana and places the phenomenon of rising marriage migration against the backdrop of liberalization of 1990s. She begins by asking questions, the most important being whether these marriages could be considered as trafficking or whether they could be termed as carefully considered migration strategies. तो उन्होंने क्या है, इन्हीं पे क्वेश्चन किया कि भाई वो मैरिजेस हो रही है लेकिन why? Because she is searching why. However, there are no clear answers here. What the reader rather notes is that Kukreja considered the lens of victimhood restrictive to a broader understanding of the process of migration. She therefore looks at how this migration strategy worked for this movement in these everyday lives. This becomes all more significant when one considers the neoliberal movement as one of dispossession, which works through the expansion of capital. Kukreja challenges the notion of overarching changes that the expansion of capital was supposed to bring about and looks at how the pre-existing discriminations not only remain but are also reinforced with the movement of capital. She enters the intimate domain of marriage making to come to a broader understanding of intersectional identities and uses gender matrimonial dispossession as the framework for discussion. सो यही सारे जो मेथड्स थे, यानी कि जो मैरिजेस के थ्रू, किनशिप के थ्रू, उन्होंने क्या किया, सोसाइटी को स्टडी किया और एक टू रीच एट एन इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट. ओके, ये बात करें कमोडिटाइजेशन की, फ्री मार्केट की, न्यूलिबरलिज्म की, लेकिन इस आर्टिकल में कहीं ना कहीं किनशिप, मैरिज टाइज के बारे में भी बात हो रही है, जहां से हम थोड़े थोड़े कीवर्ड्स को चुरा सकते हैं. सो इसी तरीके से इसलिए हमने आर्टिकल को हम इस टॉपिक के अंदर डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं. द मेथडोलॉजी दैट कुकरेजा एम्प्लॉयज इज सिग्निफिकेंट, यानी कि बहुत जरूरी थी. रिकॉग्नाइजिंग मल्टीपल मार्कर्स इन द नोशन ऑफ ऑपरेशन एंड विक्टिमहुड दैट वुमेन फेस, यानी कि इसमें इन्होंने क्या रिफ्लेक्ट कर दिया भाई, नोशन ऑफ ऑपरेशन एंड विक्टिमहुड दैट वुमेन फेस. तो एक तरीके से ये क्या है, इस आर्टिकल से हम फॉर द वुमेन्स के लिए अगर कुछ टॉपिक लिखने के लिए आए गए, फिर उसके बारे में कुछ आइडियाज यहाँ से निकाल सकते हैं. She uses a variety of tools in stitching together her narrative. She uses surveys, one-on-one interactions, interviews involving focus groups, and so on. It goes without saying that marginalized communities fall prey to further marginalization through the unequal distribution of resources, which become legitimized through state practices and the proliferation of market. अब जो proliferation of market है, ये भी एक तरीके से कीवर्ड है. जब हम किसी commoditization के बारे में जब बात करेंगे तो वहां पे ये वाले वर्ड्स आने चाहिए. It is further reinforced as neoliberal state working in conjunction with corporate organization to promote land grabs and privatization. The boom in real estate transforms agricultural land into industrial or residential properties. The workings of the marriage networks are understood through the lens of disproportionate accumulation of capital. अब इन्होंने मैरिजेस को कैसे दर्शाया गया, with the help of lens of disproportionate accumulation of capital. अब द ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन हैज लेड टू द यूज ऑफ फैमिली लेबर। अब जैसे ही पहले लोग क्या थे सिर्फ एग्रीकल्चर के ऊपर, लेकिन जब HIV सीड्स तो वहां पे क्या पड़ा, या फिर ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के थ्रू जो जो एनहांसमेंट हुए उसके थ्रू क्या हुआ, लेबर की डिमांड बढ़ गई। तो वहां पे क्या रूल आ गया, फैमिली लेबर देखने को मिली, स्पेशली द लेबर ऑफ वुमेन इन फार्म्स लाइक नेवर बिफोर, and marriage migration can therefore be studied as the transference of the bride labor as a gendered labor migration. With the mechanization, the labor-intensive process constituted the new regime of women's work. As rural India became more closely integrated with the market economy, agriculture became the almost unsustainable for marginal farmers. It would become impossible for the men of these families to find a bride from the locality. They would choose brides from places as far as UP or Bihar and even by passing caste norms. इसके बाद इन्होंने क्या करना शुरू, कास्ट नॉर्म्स को भी तोड़ दिया कि भाई इंटरकास्ट मैरिजेस क्या हो गई, स्टार्ट हो गई। In the ultimate analysis, the book questioned the fundamental notion of development. Fertile, fertile agricultural land bore the brunt of the development of mining, the building of SEZs, of dams, industries, and model township, which led to progressive marginalization. India, new aspirational middle class, found its foothold at the cusp of this transformation. The strategies of spatial purification that they employed in conjunction with the state help in buttressing a new civic culture. Kukreja does not simply talk of the impact of neoliberal context in passing. She sets this out as the backdrop against which the gendered regime of dispossession, agrarian distress, and marriage networks are discussed. The everyday negotiation with laboring brides go through even when scripted through patriarchal strategies to construct a bargaining counter, fragile as it might be within the household. I hope you understand this article very well and the topic we have discussed and correlated with each other, and I hope you will able to find keywords out of it. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel.